Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Coach's Corner edition of the Bridging Impact podcast. I am your host, Coach Furtado, and the Coach's Corner edition is where I share my insights and thoughts from the week. And it generally is around a certain theme, an idea that I am exploring. And as someone who has very grand aspirations of wanting to achieve and be a creator full time and really just impact as many people as I can through obviously being a creator on YouTube, through the podcast, and also, as a basketball coach and building out Bridging Impact as an organization to serve youth and, help not only help develop great basketball players, but more importantly, develop great leaders off the court. There is one ingredient that is required. It doesn't matter, honestly, where your dreams lie. But there is a quote, and I'm going to paraphrase the quote, but there is the difference between your reality currently and your dreams is discipline. And discipline is something that I try to intentionally take, that self-discipline, self-accountability. And I want to talk about discipline and handling discipline for teams. But first, I want to share that, kind of back and forth I'm going through my head. It's Thursday night when I'm recording this. I am a Rams fan, and I just watched Baker Mayfield come back against the Raiders, just getting with the Rams for 48 hours and beating the Raiders. And it was unbelievable. It's probably one of the most unbelievable things that have ever happened in sports. And it's one of the reasons I love sports, because of the possibility. And I love possibility, right? Like, as an optimist and being able to see what it can be accomplished, right? Because, sports, at the end of the day, professional sports, it's great to connect people and provide fandom, but it's not changing the world, right? There are a lot of leaders, in the education, in the classroom, and obviously, I don't want to get political, right? But, politics, people making change, and, sports play a role in society. It's not the whole entire thing, but it shows the possibility of what can happen, right? And it just helps us dream. And for us dreamers, I'm a dreamer. And I think one of the things that, if I want to accomplish the goals that I set out, I have to be disciplined. And, I touch on that game because I was going back and forth in my head. I'm gonna be substitute teaching tomorrow. Oh, do I want to do it right when I wake up, 6:30 a.m. tomorrow? Or should I just should I hop on the mic and do this episode and have the discipline to do this episode? Because if I want to, be a full-time creator, whether it's the entrepreneurship through Bridging Impact Basketball, or just, my creating self, if I want to be a YouTuber that gets 1 million views, right, or 1 million subscribers, I have to be consistent, right? I know right now my editing skills and, some of the certain things that I need to do to improvise my content, I'm not there yet. I don't deserve to be at 1 million subscribers yet. But what I am doing is I am building the habit. I'm having the discipline to do and act on making sure that I get a podcast out. I'm getting out 2 a week, and I may, take a little bit of a pause, with the holidays coming around. But in general, that is what is required. And that's what's really required of championship teams. And that's what I was writing in the newsletter, and what I really wanted to talk about before I watched, Baker Mayfield and the possibilities, and I got sidetracked and wanted to tie that in. I really want to talk about the discipline between how great teams separate themselves from good teams, right? Good teams are talented. They come together. They like playing with each other, and they do things well, right? But they don't always do things right. And I think that's one of the biggest realizations I had as a coach this week. And I know last week we talked about love tough, right? And what that means. Instead of tough love, it's loving people first and then being tough on them, and demanding that accountability, that discipline. And one of the things I noticed, that our basketball team, granted, we won 2 games this week. One game we won was against a below average team, and one game we won against an average team. And we want to, our dreams, our aspirations for this season, there's no end of the year tournament, so every single regular season game counts, because we want to be the best frost off team in the city of Los Angeles. That's our goal. All right. If that's our goal, we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard, number one, and have the discipline to hold ourselves to that higher standard. So, what do I mean by having the discipline that? So, I'll give you an example. There is, I'm not sure how familiar you are with basketball. I have some basketball coaches listening to this, but I have some people who just like, they love the bridging impact message and just teaching leadership through sports. So I want to break this down a little bit. A two-hand pass and a one-hand pass. What do you think has more stability and opportunity for it to get to from point A to point B and where it needs to go? It is a two-hand pass. So oftentimes as coaches, especially in this era of coaching, which I know there's like, oh, these kids. No, I'm not saying these kids, right? Like I recognize that I have a lot of similar patterns and tendencies that they do, and probably what helps me be a coach is their like really innate need to look cool, right? Because this generation that we are coaching and working with values or has puts a lot of weight on external validation, more so than the average teenager was when I was a kid. And still, when you're a teenager, number one, you want to be cool, you want to be liked by other people. And now that social media is a thing, they are seeing tons of highlights, right? The one hand passes are cool. Do they see two hand passes on Instagram? No, it's not cool, right? It doesn't get likes. And so as coaches, we are now challenged against that to have them be disciplined to do it the correct way. And it's hard because you're fighting their internal, biology of wanting to be accepted and feel like they belong in society. And society saying the one hand pass will maybe get them more likes, and more likes will get them into the higher social circle. So that's really challenging as a coach to get them to buy into the discipline of the greatness. And I just really want to reiterate to them, like, those two hand passes make the world of a difference in the marginal sense. Because think about it. The other day, we turned the ball over with a one-handed pass. All right. That's a 4-point swing because, number one, we lost out on 2 points. And number two, they could score, 2 more points. So, AKA, in a close game when you are tied and they go up by 2, right? You should really be up by 2 if you did the two-hand pass. And that's not something that, you don't see. It's a little bit more of delayed gratification. And it's a really, really challenging, topic for us coaches because, even me, right? I want that instant gratification, right? I'm like, I want to be at 1,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. Why am I not all my videos popping? Are you kidding me? Well, just keep putting in the work. Keep putting in the daily, your shorts in. Keep, posting for podcasts. Keep getting the word out about bridging impact. It's going to grow, and it's going to take time. And you just have to have the discipline to stay with it. And there's a lot more to discipline, right? And there's kind of a couple of different themes I've been talking about, which is, accountability, doing things the right way, which is not always something that I do. I always like to point the thumb at myself first. As a coach, I was hard on them today. I was like, man, I gotta be like, because I see the vision for them as a visionary. Like, you have to to get from point A to point B, you have to be disciplined every single day, and you stack good practices on top of each other. That's how to continue growing. And I'm very grateful, right? I want to end this episode that I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to be disciplined and reach my goals and visions, because not everyone in the world has, number one, access to the internet. Now, most people do, but not in the same way, not great internet quality. That's a privilege. Not everyone has an opportunity to coach basketball at the age of 24. Some of them have to pay off student loans, so they don't have the time to take off, and they're not able to be a substitute teacher. So it's gratitude. I'm grateful that I get to be disciplined. And so that's really the mindset that we need to have. And it's going to look different for you because our life experiences are different. But I hope this is, one, motivational, but also informational, and that you can use to inspire your teams that you are coaching and leading. And I just really want to appreciate you for listening to this episode. And whether you're watching it on YouTube or you're listening to it on Spotify, Apple, Google, just that you would take 10 minutes out of your day to watch or listen to this. And there's so many other things that you could watch or listen to. It means the world to me. So I really appreciate you all. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Make sure you smash subscribe if you are on YouTube, and just make sure you follow us, subscribe for us wherever you get your podcasts, and just, leave a comment below on what other content you'd like me to create, and also how I can improve this for you. I know I need to get better at editing. It's just like, truthfully, it's a one-man show. And, if I want to, talk a little bit about my schedule, I wake up in the morning, bright and early. I'm posting my content. I substitute during the day. I go coach, and then I come home in the evening and spend quality time with my girlfriend, because that's important. And so I don't always have as much time to edit, and I do some things on the weekends and here and there, and I'm building out Bridging Impact, and right, it's discipline to do a lot of little things, and I know that they're going to add up one day. I really do. So I believe that. I hope you believe in yourself and what you can accomplish, just like Baker Mayfield did tonight, or yesterday if you're listening to this, or a few days ago. I appreciate you all. I will be in your eyes and ears next Friday. Cheers, y'all.